Okay, welcome everybody. I am so pleased to be having a very special guest join me today for this broadcast. This is Leslie, so I wanted to introduce her to all of you and just say welcome, Leslie. We're gonna have a little chat today, so you guys just grab a cup of tea or coffee and come and join us to hear Leslie's story of how she really overcame the overwhelm spiral in her life as mom extraordinaire. So, Leslie, welcome. And will you just share a little bit about yourself and or your family?
Thank you, Honor. I'm so excited to be here. Like Honor mentioned, my name is Leslie. I am a mom of four boys, ages, well, I guess almost 12, down to 5. And we live in Utah. We love working hard and playing hard. We
Yeah.
like camping and fishing, hunting. We like to watch movies. Um, and that's us.
Awesome. So awesome. I love so many things about you. And I just am really, really excited to have you sharing your experience. And I just want to have a chat about kind of where you were before we worked together, like when we met, why you reached out, and what was going on for you. So let's just start there and share whatever's on your heart that you don't mind people knowing about you.
Right? That part of it, I was like, "Ooh, I feel a little bit vulnerable right now."
I'm just going to call in. I just want to call in, like, to everyone who listens, to everyone who hears this interview today. Just want to really call in your respect for what you hear and your just your understanding and appreciation for Leslie being willing to open up. Like, if you've seen any interviews of mine, you know that that we just have real talk here, and you're not, we're not sugarcoating anything. So anything you hear, we just ask that you really listen with respect and appreciation, and give Leslie your love and your support for her sharing. So that said, share where you a little bit about where you were and what were you struggling with when we met.
Okay. So it was a little over a year ago, and it still feels so vivid in my mind because if you remember, um, I think the word that keeps coming to my mind is not thriving.
Yeah.
I was really just a shell of a human being. And I was so overwhelmed that I really had just shut down. I was sleeping a lot. There was a lot of
Yeah.
fatigue. Um, I also had some health issues that we've since figured out. But
Awesome.
um, it was kind of like this year, it was multiple years that I was trying to figure this out. I mean, it all started, over a decade ago, with the really big overwhelm and entering into motherhood.
Yeah.
But it all kind of came into this spiral. And I tried multiple medications. Um, they kept telling me, you have depression, you have anxiety, let's try this med, let's try this med. And I wasn't sleeping well. I was actually sleeping very anxious. Like I started getting like, I don't know if you'd call it TMJ, but like my jaw was having a lot of pain because when I was sleeping, I was just like clenched and stressed out. Um, I had knots all over in my back. And so they decided to add another medication. And they said, you can take these together at the same time before bed. It's totally fine. And long story short, I ended up in the ER,
Yeah.
and it was it was that event and that moment that that week I just remember thinking in my heart, like, this isn't how this is supposed to be. Like, this isn't my story. Um, and I didn't, I know I'm getting emotional. I didn't at that point know what could even be next. We had tried so many things. I tried exercise, I tried alone time, getting out with friends. My husband could see me struggling. We were fighting all the time. And I was just an angry shell. And my son that week, after that had all kind of happened at the same time, I was trying to engage and be present while all of that was going
Yeah.
on.
So hard.
And he said to me, "You're a mean mommy." And I just like broke. And I again just kept saying, like, this isn't my story. Like, this isn't me. All I ever wanted growing up was to be a mom and have kids of my own. And um, at the time, I couldn't put words to that. But looking back, my heart and my thoughts were manifesting and pulling me towards awaken motherhood, because I hopped on Instagram, and I was on Instagram, and again leading up to it, the few days before, I just kept saying to myself, this isn't my story.
Mm,
I'm not the girl who ends up in the hospital and like, what's next? Am I going to have to get admitted somewhere because they can't
yeah.
figure out how to help me?
Yeah.
And um, I saw an ad for Awaken Motherhood, and I'm trying to remember exactly what came across.
That may have been was it the master class that you saw? Could have been 5 shifts to eliminate
Yes.
overwhelm or anxiety. Yeah, I probably found you at that moment. That's usually the way it works for people.
Yep. And I never click on Instagram
Mhm,
ads. I
mhm,
always just skip through, and that one caught my eye. And I remember just hanging on every word. I actually still have all the screenshots because like it was such a profound shift in my life.
yeah.
I screenshot every one of them and was just hanging on to every word because I was like, I feel in my bones that this is going to help me.
Mhm.
And then I booked a clarity call
Yeah.
after listening to, I think it was only just a 5 minute, 5 step. Maybe it was longer than that. Maybe it's a 20. Anyway,
Yeah.
it was the 5 steps.
Yeah.
And I booked a clarity call with you. And I don't know if you remember.
Oh, I do. I remember. I remember them all.
I was
I do. I
I
remember our
was so
conversations.
fragile.
I was gonna say, I remember how you were in a really fragile place. You were like a lot of women are at the point when they start looking for a solution, really feeling at your wits' end with that, like, I don't know what to do now.
Mm,
And I remember you being there in that place of like, everyone's telling me what I should do or I should try this, including, your people who cared a lot
mm.
about you. And your heart was saying like, I need to get control of me. And I remember going deep into that conversation, which was so beautiful. You had a very clear desire that you didn't want to just do what other people were telling you to do if it didn't feel right for you, which was very cool.
Yeah, especially since I went into the hospital on, I think it was July 28th.
Mhm.
Um, and the medications that they tried putting me on, um, they were like, no, I think you're just having panic attacks. And I knew that I was on too many medications.
Yeah.
And my whole nervous system was just like, I felt like someone had like plugged me into a light socket. I just felt like I was so overstimulated.
Mhm.
And in that conversation on that clarity call, I even remember just feeling like I'm I'm just gonna melt into the floor. Like
Mhm.
this is all too much.
Mhm.
But then also having that hope. Like um, I feel like this is what I've been asking for.
Yeah. That's so beautiful. And will you say something about, you know, we we entered into that agreement when you were at a place where you were really clear that you were ready to do whatever work there was that I told you was going to get you out of overwhelm and in that place of not just solid ground, but solid ground stability so that you could start creating joyful moments for yourself, health, um, fun, ease, adventure. So let's talk a little bit along those lines about what your life is like now compared to when you were drowning, because we just had a little fun chat before starting this interview about what's around you in your house and what you guys have been up to. So say something about the mom that you are now and the life that you're living right now.
Life is very different now, and I would have never guessed that I could be where I am today. Um, I'm just laughing because I I used to just I mean, I still struggle with, sweating the small stuff and thinking, "The house is messy. If the house could just be a little bit cleaner," then, like, I
Mhm.
used to attach, my anger and my frustration to things.
Yeah.
And my house is quite possibly messier than ever, and we're just having a great time. Um, and it's messy because I was telling Honor we bought a trailer that we're turning into a custom toy hauler, and we didn't have any of the things. So we ordered all the things, and some of them didn't arrive before the trip. And we have I'll show you. This is why I'm laughing. I've got like camp laundry, camp baskets, camp buckets. There's even
I love
some
it.
like right here. Um, and I still do have those thoughts that creep in. That's like, what if someone stops by, or what if, um,
Mm,
like, what if you don't ever get caught up? And after I've gone through the Awaken Motherhood program, and even being in AM Mastery now,
mhm.
I'm able to immediately recognize, because I'm aware now. I'm
Yeah.
aware of when those thoughts creep in, um, of thinking like, why is this here? And what do I want? So instead of staying in the story of it, I'm telling myself constantly, yeah, the house is messy and we will get there. Because right now we're just having fun, and it's messy because we ordered all the things.
Yeah, you're making memories. And
We're
you just
making
had an
them.
epic trip. You had an epic family trip. And something I hear about a lot, which is why I was excited for you to share that piece, is moms who say, like, if I could just go on vacation, kind of like, and leave my house, which is a big trigger for me, then I can relax and have fun. But when we dig a little deeper, what often is really true for people is that even if there is fun when they're away from home, that they can't hang on to it, because the minute they get back into the home environment, into the normal routine of daily life, none of it is working well enough. There's burnout immediately comes back. And so I just was excited for people to see another way. And from where you are right now, it's such a celebration that you are feeling like you can laugh about it. That's lightness. That's ease. As soon as we connected, you shared with me, we've just had the funnest trip. It's like, yes, that's what this is about. Moving this old wounding or heaviness out, or overwhelm story, or trapped overwhelm in your body, that emotional buildup of years of being a mom without knowing how to move through the hard stuff. And so what a joy that this is really a time where you get to have fun and you get to enjoy being a mom with your boys. You and your husband have transformed so much in your way you do life together. That's such a beautiful thing to witness. To say anything else, Leslie, about your kind of your experience, or anything else you want to share about what it's like now on the other side for you, feeling like you're in control of your life, able to able to do it on your terms. Not that it's perfect. Not that it's
It was
perfect.
definitely not perfect. Like I mentioned before we started the interview, today was like my kids all chose massive meltdown day. It was picture day at school, and um, we're still just enjoying life. I mean, horrific meltdowns this morning, and I myself was like, I feel so angry, and I let it in, and I
Awesome.
was like, this is really awful.
Good.
And then we were able to release it and move forward in our day. So I think that was one thing I would like to speak to is I always thought that if I could just figure out how to fix all of these things and have everything be perfect and have my day go perfect. If the schedule could go perfect and, I could get ready and have the gym time and the kids were all like doing everything, in like fairy tale land, right?
Land. Yeah.
If all of those things could just align, then like everything will be fine. I'll be happy. They'll be happy. If I could just break into that. And so I was just always chasing something that was so unrealistic.
Yeah.
Um, I just always felt disappointed.
Yeah.
Um, and then the other thing I'd like to speak to is that um, I wasn't living for me.
Oh,
I was living for everybody else. I was people pleasing, and I just thought, if they're doing that and that's working, all like that must be the solution for me. Um, I wasn't deciding things for myself. I'd often, look to others for answers and help.
mhm,
And now, even when it's a terrible, crappy moment, and I don't know what to do,
mhm.
I still can go inward and just own it and allow it. This is yucky. This is awful. I literally don't know what to do. And it's so calming. It's so calming. And, there's even been moments with my kids where I've even told them, you know what? This is my first time doing this. I don't know
Mhm.
what to do. I don't know how to handle the situation. Let's
Amazing.
put our heads together and figure this out.
Just feel that in your body. I mean, I'm feeling it in my body. That is so expansive. For anybody who's listening, like just take a moment to really feel your own cells and how they hear this, what Leslie is saying, because this is one result, a really typical result of my work with moms, with women, is that you cultivate this place inside you, which does sound magical, hearing you describe it. If I didn't have that, I would think, Psht, how'd you do that? Like, there you go. There's
Right.
your little one. Um, and yeah, and you have it now though. So, like, you've created it already. You have an inner calm that you can turn to anytime. That's a superpower. So that when kids melt down about picture day, or so that when people are overtired, or when your husband might be cranky, or when whatever happens, you are supported. You have
Mhm.
a, a place of safety inside you, that is stability, that is, I've never done this before, but I know I'm going to figure it out. And I just really want to highlight that and celebrate that with you, because to me that is like, that's your cape, that's your crown. You can do anything from there.
Yeah. And even if I'm the one who's cranky and I feel like I'm
Yeah.
spiraling, I just know, hey guys, I've got to go support myself and
Yep.
figure this out.
Yep.
And there's so much more respect now in that aspect. Because before,
Yeah.
if I was angry, it was like, oh, mom's angry. Like, let's everybody walk on eggshells.
Yep.
And now they're like, oh, mom's going to go, do whatever I need to do. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe
Yep.
it's going for a drive. And then they know when I come back, like we just are going to regroup and we're going
Mhm.
to move forward. And if it's not perfect and if it is ugly, we can own it. I'm sorry, that was rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
what do we want
Compliment.
it to look like next time, or how could we do something different next time to make it be a little bit better?
I just love hearing your expertise is shining through. You really, like, I know and perfect is not an option. And I appreciate that the conversation wandered there. And also that you have a confidence that is totally just shining through you now. And that wasn't here before. And to see it now is such a beautiful expression of who you are. You're a free spirit. You like to have fun. You love to play. You want to play hard. You love it that you have these boys who want to play hard. And now you know how to hang with that and keep your energy up so that you get to have fun. That's so
Yep.
beautiful.
I
Anything else
have
you
an
want to add?
identity now.
Yeah.
Before, I don't feel like I had an identity. I'm
Oh, wow.
me, and I just I feel like I came I know it sounds so I don't know what
Say it. Just say it.
came home to myself.
Yes, you did.
It came
You
back to
did.
me,
It's beautiful.
and I'm
It's
having
it's
fun,
everything.
and it's messy, and it's beautiful.
So beautiful. Thank you so much, Leslie, for your honesty and openness. And for everybody who watches this back and is going to be blessed by this, just show Leslie some love and thanks for being here. Click the button, give her some hearts, give her some love, leave your comments or your takeaways, any questions you might have for her, leave those. And I just want to thank you so much for standing in your light and really expressing who you are, which is so beautiful and such a delight to spend time with you. So thank you, my dear.
Thank you,
No,
and I just want to thank you again for all of your work and resources. Awaken Motherhood has really changed my life, and I'm in the AM mastery right now, and just excited about where that's going to take me.
yeah, awesome. Well, congrats, Leslie. And you guys leave us some comments and some hearts, and I will see you again soon.
Okay.